Lee Sin, NA? Is it going to be Rush? Is it Dardoch?
Yep. Yeah, and Dardoch obviously likes to call himself a cleanest in NA, so we'll see if he is going to pull that out. He did just the other day in LCS, but as you can see, we are into the pick and bans, and it's going to be Vladimir, Azir, Fizz, and Rise all taken off the board. Which really seems to be pretty standard. You know, we did see a lot of priority on these champions in the LCS, and you know, maybe players haven't quite adapted to the changes, or maybe they just don't think they're super impactful. You know, Nidalee, another champion, went down pretty significantly as far as win rates go. This is 6-11. Kindred did as well, but they're both going to be taken off the table for now.
Yeah, and in answer, looks like it's also going to be Kindred and Nidalee, as you said, banned away.
Yep.
And, you know, this is a little exciting because Rush, he's been playing Kindred, he's been playing Nidalee, and he still has that pocket Lee Sin, but the next fallback is Rek'Sai. Well, Dardoch plays that too, and right now, Team Liquid have got first pick.
Yeah, I mean, both players actually really do like their Lee Sin. Obviously, Rek'Sai is definitely up there. We do have other champions like Gragas, like Elise, you know, who do have a lot of early game potential. We've even seen things like, you know, Olaf out of Reignover. So there is some flexibility there. Even saw a successful Amumu game in the LCK. So I think, especially in Challenger, you do see more variety with those. But so far as bans go, it's been very, very standard.
Yeah, looks like the first pick for Team Liquid Academy is going to be picking away Victor from High for Golden Glue. And this is a little bit of a safety sort of security pick.
Yeah, Victor is something that doesn't really have any bad matchups. He has incredibly strong wave clear. He has good poke. He's a very strong team fighter. So it's something that's safe. You can pick that pretty early in the draft and feel confident about it. Something interesting, though, is as far as LCS goes, we saw a massive priority on Lucian. So to see him not get taken for that first pick, it does show perhaps that people are thinking it is a pretty big change as far as the nerfs that went in for Lucian. He did go down a lot win rate wise, you know, like 4% or something like that. So which is pretty significant. His laning phase especially is a bit weaker as the Q pass through has lower range, as does the W. Cloud9 not going to pick him up on their first rotation either. So at least in this matchup, Lucian's not being prioritized as highly.
Yeah, Trundle and Rek'Sai are going to be the answer from Cloud9 Challenger. Rush going back to that Rek'Sai, and we'll see if Balls decides to take that Trundle and split push in the top lane, or if Lemon is going to break that out as support.
Definitely would surprise me if it did go support. It's obviously is a flex pick, so it's possible, but it has kind of fallen out of the meta, especially with the priority on those range supports. Lemon's a guy who loves to play Zyra, who loves to play Karma, and those are two very top tier supports right now. Trundle really does not have a lot of bad matchups in the top lane, even things that traditionally are powerful split pushers like Fiora. He matches up well against them early on.
Looks like it's Team Liquid Academy who still believe in the Lucian, so it is locked in for Fabi, and taking that Zyra away from Lemonation, it's stunned.
I think this is an incredibly powerful bot lane duo that they have set up for themselves. So the Lucian and the Zyra are going to be very good. Lucian obviously is still a very powerful ADC, so it doesn't surprise me that it was drafted, but still to see it fall as far as it did in the draft was a little bit surprising. But quick answer there, it's going to be Braum and Twitch coming out from Cloud9, and that tells me they really do not want a lane here. I think if they do end up in that 2v2 lane, assuming all things are played out equally, they're going to get smashed. So this is something where you have to be really, really careful. Braum and Twitch both have kind of like a weaker laning phase compared to their opponents. So it'll be interesting to see if they can pull that lane swap off.
Yeah, and it is a little interesting to see Cloud9 go for this so quickly. During the qualifier, they matched duo lane all 3 games when they got in.
They also may have the confidence to say, hey, we're better than you, let's do it anyway. You know, this is something, not saying they are, but this is something where if you have the confidence, you can go into that matchup. But Lee Sin and Maokai going to be locked in here for TLA. Going to be 2 very powerful picks. And we talked about the priority Dardoch has on this champion. It's a very strong early ganker. Now you have yourselves Maokai, who has amazing gank assist in the top lane. You have an aggressive bot lane duo with good gank assist as well. Lucian's good at dashing in, getting the aggressive damage off. Zyra has roots. So there's a lot that they can work with here. Dardoch can move around the map, and he has some very advantageous lanes. The last pick going to be actually TF here for High, and that is, you know, pretty much classic High. This is something that he loves to do as a mid laner. He was fantastic TF, Zed, guys that can split push, that can roam, and that can make impact around the map. So we'll have to see how he's going to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, the final pick for Cloud9 Challenger as they play their first game here in the NA Challenger Series Summer Split, and I got to admit, I'm pretty excited. You know, we've got Dardoch versus Rush, the Lee Sins, 2 of the best junglers in the LCS over the past year and a half.
Yeah, and Rush is going to have a pretty nice matchup for himself. One of the really good things about Rek'Sai into Lee Sin is if Lee Sin ever Qs you in the early jungle, you just have to right-click on him, and basically as he takes that Q, you will pop up, you'll unburrow him, you'll actually disjoint the damage. So it's a pretty nice matchup early on for Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai definitely has a lot of ganking pressure, but Lee Sin can move around the map very quickly, has fast clear, and can also put on a lot of pressure early on too. So I think a lot of it is really going to come down to which jungler can perform and start to snowball their lanes.
Well, we'll certainly find out. Hit us up on Twitter with your game predictions. Tweet at LOL Esports with hashtag TLA win or hashtag C9C win, and we'll tell you those as we get ready for this. And to go back to that a little bit more, these are both some very aggressive jungler players on aggressive champions. You talked about Team Liquid having a significant amount of gank assist. Well, there's a pretty decent amount of crowd control on Cloud9 Challenger as well.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, Braum, if you can actually proc that concussive blows, is going to be a very powerful gank assist. We obviously have Trundle with the pillar. The slow is very, very strong. And gold cards from TF are incredibly powerful as well. You know, one of the things that's nice here about having the TF on your team is also that, you know, he can move around the map very quickly himself. So, you know, he has TP. We don't have TP on Golden Glue, who is actually taking cleanse, just kind of worried about that crowd control.
So the answer for Team Liquid Academy, you know, respect the rush. He likes to invade. He likes to make some aggressive plays. So cleanse just to keep that Victor safe in lane. And that sort of speaks to how we might look to see TLA play this matchup. A little bit safer in lane, a little bit further back.
Yeah, I think they may have to do that if they want to worry about that TF, especially once he gets 6. You know, that is something that they're going to have to keep in mind. I think early game, though, they are going to try to push their advantages. Obviously, Trundle is something that's a very good matchup into Maokai, but Maokai has, you know, incredible gank assist, has the ability for TP flanks for moving around the map, and, you know, TLA has a pretty clear idea of what they want to do. They have strong team fighting, strong 2v2, very good lanes, and Cloud9 is going to have to be more of like the split pushing team. You know, Trundle and TF are very good in the 1-3-1.
And now to follow up on what you mentioned earlier, Cloud9 not looking to take the duo into the duo. Well, they've been spotted. Fabi and Stunt roaming on the top side are going to spot out Cloud9 challengers, so we will have that 2v2 matchup, but no jungle start from either of them. So not exactly the happiest situation for Cloud9 challenger, but I'm sure they'll be able to manage as they get the first hit onto Stunt.
Yeah, they'll definitely be fine here, and it is that 2v2 matchup, as you said, so TLA could be pretty happy to have found those matchups, and, you know, at the same time, Rush is going to be starting, you know, his clear. He's working his way around, and he actually has elected to kind of skip over taking the blue buff for now, which to me does kind of say that he is probably going to gift over that blue buff pretty early on too high. This is something that a lot of Rek'Sai players like to do, is they don't need the mono regen, and they don't really need that CDR for their early clear.
A little bit more harass now going down onto Team Liquid Academy as the quick level 2 from Cloud9 Challenger looks to push this lane back in. And yeah, it looks like Dardoch did start off on the bottom side of the map with his own jungle clear, so he's going to be taking his time before affecting anything. Now we do have Balls actually putting some pressure onto Solo in the bottom. Dardoch looks like he might be going on an adventure.
Yeah, and I think this is a really smart early gank path here for Dardoch. Balls is really far up, and with the gank assist here from Maokai, I think Balls could be in a lot of trouble.
Oh, there's the snare. The pillar goes down too soon. Balls is almost certainly doomed. First blood, Dardoch.
Yeah, so Dardoch able to pick up a very early kill there. Fantastic start here for TLA, and Solo is going to be pretty happy about this as well. He actually can kind of hold the minion wave here for a while, and he's going to be able to even out that matchup for himself. Dardoch as well, a guy who really wants to snowball the game, and getting that first blood is going to move him towards his jungle item, probably allow him to build a lot more aggressively. Another nice pickup here too. He spots that the blue buff has not been taken by Rush. He's going to be able to take that away, which, you know, was going to be gifted to High.
Yeah, meanwhile, Rush on the other side, stealing away the blue buff in answer. Unfortunately, not quite as good at making that gank happen, so currently Team Liquid Academy with the first kill of the NA Challenger Series Summer Split. We'll see if they can convert it into a win as this match progresses. And for now, everyone seems to be having a pretty good time laning. You mentioned a bit of the pressure that we could be seeing out of Alltech and Lemonation. Well, in fact, they're the ones who are putting pressure onto Fabi and Stunt.
Yeah, Fabi and Stun are playing this pretty carefully, and I think it's partly because they have not actually seen Rush really show much on the map yet. So I think they're pretty nervous about the jungler being topside. But if you are going to play it really passively like this, you kind of give up a lot of the reason that you are going to select that ranged jungler early on. So it's something that they're going to have to be aware of, that they definitely want to make use of this lane, because Twitch, if he's allowed to kind of just have a free lane, farm it up, scale, he's an absolute monster in late game team fights. And you can see, you know, now that Stun is back in lane, you know, he did move back up, and they're the ones kind of zoning out C9, as Elimination's going to take a lot of poke.
Yeah, there's the harass we were talking about from Team Liquid. And, you know, we know Altec is capable of playing that late game hyper carry. So he's just hoping that the game is going to go long enough so that he can terrorize Team Liquid Academy later on. But for now, seems like Team Liquid Academy finally get a little bit of vision of that Rek'Sai, and they put some pressure onto their duo lane. Seems like everything else pretty even across the map. Not going to see any major objective rushes just yet.
We do see Dardoch has snuck his way up here, and TLA is going to try to bait C9 into going aggressive on them. They'd like to actually bounce the wave so it can reset, or try to make C9 just aggress into this. But since there's so many minions, C9 is not going to fight into this. It's going to have to hit the turret, and they can perhaps look for a dive, and I think they're going to want to go for it.
Yeah, here comes Dardoch. He dashes forward, even a teleport, as it looks like they're trying to get in. Lemonation flashes away, and the teleport is going to complete as Solo joins up with the rest of his team, but they don't quite get a kill.
Yeah, I don't really know about that TP from Solo, because by the time he actually came in there, the gank was already done. And, you know, once they got the summoner out of Elimination, nothing was going to happen. And him allowing that to complete allows a pretty big advantage here for Balls, who's going to get the free shove to the turret. He's going to be able to deny a couple waves of experience. So a nice little edge here for Balls early on.
Yeah, level 6 picked up by Balls as that minion wave is going to be clear. There is a cannon, so that does buy a little bit of time. Solo's taking the long way.
Balls is actually heading to mid lane, so this is a bit of a roam he's trying to look to put on.
Just disrupting Solo, making sure he misses as many minions as possible. Very clever play from Balls as he gets his first recall off and actually completes a Tiamat with that first back. So things looking pretty good for that split push Trundle. And so far, you know, taking a look at Cloud9's team, they do have a very scary scaling comp. You've got the Trundle, who's going to become a monster later on. Twitch, who can shred through teams, and even Twisted Fate, capable of picking people off.
Definitely, and kind of a little concerning thing here for TLA is the fact that they got first blood, but they're actually down 400 to 500 gold. It's kind of fluctuating a little bit here, because if you look at the farm across the board, you know, Rush is up pretty heavily in that jungle farm, which is very big. We have Balls even right now, but he just based. High is up a couple, and Altac's actually up 10 CS over Fabi. So this is something that, you know, isn't exactly the start you were looking for as TLA. You know, they got that kill, but unless Dardoch can continue to make something happen here and continue to extend that lead, the first blood gold isn't meaning much on Lee Sin right now, and they're just getting out.
Yeah, Dardoch trying to be a little sneaky and avoid that tremor sense, but Rush will not have any of it. And this is pretty reminiscent, once again, of how Cloud9 Challenger played in the promotion tournament, where they just simply outskilled their lane, out-CS. Whoa, Dardoch doesn't make it over the wall. Rush knows this and gets some good damage across. Oh, man, but Dardoch is going to make it out. Good timing from Rush.
Yeah, really nice. He's actually able to interrupt that ward hop. So the cooldown gets used, he can't get over the wall, and Dardoch has to get it out of there. So this is, you know, the jungler with first blood actually getting bullied out very, very hard, and he's actually down on gold pretty heavily, but he is going to get that red buff, and now there could be a duel.
Oh, wow, Dardoch steals the red buff, but he's going to die as High collapses. That's that Twisted Fate for you.
Yeah, that was, I mean, it was good that he got the red buff. It you know, could have been even more tragic, but it's pretty aggressive. He's going in on someone who he's down on levels, and he's already really low on HP. And this was an easy ultimate in from High, who was already level 6, already level 7, in fact. So this is something that Dardoch should be aware of. And when you don't have jungle priority, you don't have mid lane priority, it's not a play you should really be going for.
Yeah, he was just focusing on that highlight reel. Whoa, damage in the mid lane as Golden Glue is looking for a reel of his own. Forces High to burn his flash. That's the one.
Yeah, so High is going to have that summoner down, but not too big of a deal, as he has already picked up a kill for himself, has that red buff sitting on, and Lemon Nation and Altec are farming up here, and looks like they want to get aggressive.
Yeah, there's going to be a dash away from Fabi. He takes a lot of damage. The stun, doesn't quite hit him. Ooh, that expunge doesn't proc either.
That last auto actually had they've been able to proc the concussive blows there on Fabi, I think he would have gone down with all that passive stacks stacking up there from Twitch. So they're doing a great job in this 2v2. Alltech and Lemon Nation actually up in farm, up in pressure. Definitely not a good sign for TLA.
Yeah, Rush is actually going to head towards the top to put even more pressure on that duo lane. It's keeping pace in CS now as it has caught up. In the mid lane, minor discrepancy again from between Golden Glue and High. But that's still 1,000 gold lead for Cloud9 Challenger, opening up from that 400 just a few minutes ago when Team Liquid Academy had that first blood.
Yep, High's done a great job for himself. He's up on farm. He also does have that passive gold that he gets from Stack Deck on DF and the kill for himself, so he's up quite a bit of gold. And Rush has been power farming, already has the Cinder Hulk completed, which is pretty bad news for Dardoch. And, you know, Dardoch got the first blood, wasn't really able to do anything with it, and it doesn't really bode well for TLA when they had a lot of these kind of early strength lanes and haven't been doing too much with it.
Yeah, so far things being dictated generally by Cloud9. Dardoch trying to make a few plays around the map, but he's actually going to face check again into Rush and has to ward hop away. This time doesn't get interrupted, but he's just not taking these trades favorably, and he's still going for the Warrior start. Yep.
And Alltech going to stealth in here. They're going to look to go for Fabi, who has no flash.
Oh, there's going to be a knock-up. Stranglethorns tries to disengage. Alltech takes some damage, but oh, wow, Lemonation takes a lot more back. Ooh, he's able to get out. Alltech has to heal, though.
Yeah, really good disengage there by Stunt. That's the power of the Zyra. They almost proc concussive blows once again. Lemon Nation actually hopped to the Twitch, was able to land a nice ultimate, but the Zyra just burst them down so hard. He drops the Ignite, he drops the ult, that pushes back Alltech, and then the culling is having to be face tanked there by Lemon, so almost going down.
Oh, Golden Glue is in a... Oh, no! He drops the cleanse far too soon. He's going to try bursting High down and gets quite a bit of damage. The last tick barely, almost doesn't kill High.
Yeah, and Solo is coming up, and just off your screen, we did see Rush actually pushing Solo away, trying to keep his mid laner safe. So High is going to squeak out of there, does have his TP, can easily base TP back to lane if he wants to blow it, but they are looking good. And this start has been fantastic for High and Rush. They've been the ones getting involved. They've been the ones, with that mid lane jungle priority. And Dardoch now down 2 levels here on Rush, and that Lee Sin, we know and love this champion, but it's an early game jungler. It's a snowballer. You have to make stuff happen.
Yeah.
He's still gonna have the playmaking potential, but it's C9 that's gonna pull the trigger on this dive.
Yeah, they're looking to dive Solo right now. Balls is gonna grab aggro. High.
He's gone.
Drops the crowd control. It's dodged, but Rush secures the kill for Cloud9 Challenger.
So High, takes the TPs, able to convert on that. They kill off Golden Glue. High just TPs the bot lane. They're able to dive and kill Solo, and C9 is just working the map out so well. Even grabbing the turret for himself, and High likely able to get back to mid lane without even losing too much. So fantastic stuff. Rush goes straight to the top lane. They're looking to fight.
Yeah, he goes over the wall looking for the knockup, but is snared. There's going to be a teleport as Balls joins as well. Stuntopolis is the target. He dies to Alltech, and that's going to leave Dardoch and Fabi off with a stern warning.
More than the stern warning. Their friend is dead.
That's a pretty heavy-handed warning.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy-handed, man. What about the Zyra? But things are looking rough. Things are going from bad to worse here for TLA as C9 seems to be able to just kind of move around the map and convert on these kills at will. And it's got to be a little bit demoralizing. It just seems like one of those games where everything is working for your opponent and nothing really feels like it's panning out the way you want it. So we can see Rush sneaking up here. He's able to burrow in, and a nice root here from the Zyra does keep him out for a little bit, but Balls is coming in. Lemon gets in there pretty aggressively. The Zyra has no summoners, no chance really to get out.
Very aggressive play from Cloud9 as they pick up their 4th kill, and they're looking for the 5th red card from High. He's going to take a lot of damage, but luckily it's Rush tanking the turret. He's still going to get the kill, and Rush escapes with his life. Now Dardoch is on that side as well, and Rush goes back through the turret to get out.
He just doesn't care. He takes so little damage, and nice pop-up there.
Flash has been used. He gets out. The Ignite is going to drop as well. This should be a kill. Flash, and there it is. Stunt gets the solo kill. Oh, Dardoch cannot catch a break this game.
Good roam there from Stunt, but good job by Rush, at least making him below a lot to get that. So once again, now this is a Zyra without Flash, without Ignite, no ult, very easy gank target for High or Rush, and we are going to see the mid laner fighting up against here.
Yeah, Flash is going to be used as High gets away.
Oh,
Knock up finds High! Oh, and it's going to be executed by elimination!
He couldn't take the Q. Dardoch hit it. I'm not sure if he didn't have the energy there to actually go for the execute, but he would have had the kill. It was a well-played duel, almost pulls off the outplay, but Elimination there to bail out his mid laner. Stand behind me into a perfect ultimate, so a fantastic roam there from Elimination really quick. And this is a 2-0-3 High, who already has 30% CDR. He's already got the Lucidity for the cooldown reduction on his summoner spells as well. And oh boy, he's going to be strong.
Yeah. You'd like to think that a year of coaching might make you a little bit rusty, but Elimination proves me wrong, proves a lot of people wrong with that play. Here's Dardoch once again.
Yeah, and Dardoch plays this very well. He hits the Q. We do see him holding that. High actually flashes out. A beautiful kick of the Braum through that TF, but in the meantime, Stunt is down again, and this is what I talked about. So easy to prey on him, and Fabi is going to be up next as Rush has already started the dive. He's gone.
Oh, Fabi doesn't stand a chance. Another kill, spoon-fed into High. He's 3-0-4, and Team Liquid Academy are 5,000 gold down and falling apart at the seams.
They just can't do anything. They're putting on a rout here as every time High has TP, every time High has ult, he goes somewhere, he kills someone. And this is just getting way out of hand here for TLA. They are falling apart at the seams, and they're just not seeming to be able to actually keep pace with this Cloud9 squad. And now Rush heading to mid lane here with balls, and they're looking for another kill.
Yeah, they're going to turn on to Golden Glue and Dardoch. Rush gets kicked into the turret. He's finally going to drop. Golden Glue gets it, but that doesn't mean he's safe. Chunked down to about 200 health. He's finally going to be able to walk away with his life.
Yeah, a little bit cocky there from Rush and Balls, looking for the 2v2 against Golden Glue, who's still, a very powerful Victor here, and that ultimate does so much damage. So not having High in position there, they do give a kill over, not too big of a deal, but a nice pickup there for Golden Glue and Dardoch, and they're going to buy themselves a little bit of time.
Yeah, that's finally going to be the Hex Core upgrade for Golden Glue. Hopefully he has enough gold to start looking at some more items in addition to that, because High is well on his way to completing his needlessly large item as Cloud9 Challenger Rush now feeds over a blue buff on top of that. So this Cloud9 train cannot be stopped as Team Liquid Academy are doing everything they can.
They're rolling, and I think High is probably going to pick himself up a Zhonya's, especially with how aggressively he's playing. Get himself the rest of that CDR. He'd hit 40%. He has the aggressive initiation potential as well with that Zhonya, so would not be surprised to see him go that route. And Rush is going full tank. He already has that Cinderhulk, the Tabbies, probably building towards a Deadman's, could be a Randuin's as well, but he is going to be very hard to deal with.
Yeah, Altec heading back towards the top lane to catch some minions while the rest of Cloud9 keep the mid lane of Team Liquid Academy occupied. And once again, Balls split pushing on the bottom side of the map. We haven't seen any focus on Dragons or Rift Herald yet.
No.
Seems like Cloud9 are just content to be picking up these kills.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of gold just from the kills. They're out-farming their opponents. They're taking turrets. They have all the pressure. So I feel like they just haven't felt that they needed to really go for it. No use taking any risk from grabbing those neutral objectives, especially since it is the Air Dragon. They probably care less about it. And Rift Herald, you take a lot of damage doing that early in the game, and they don't want to risk anything.
Team Liquid Academy, though, looking to take... Whoa! Dardoch tries to get the insect, but Elimination reads him like a book. That mid-tier 1 finally going to go down, though. It's still a 5,000 gold deficit for Team Liquid Academy, and High and Balls, they're just setting up camp down in this bottom lane. Yeah,
they're going to get the tier 2 here. It's very low, and Rush just does not care. Walks in, takes away the Wraiths from Dardoch here. He is very, very tanky. Nothing Dardoch can do about that. And, they're just kind of closing the noose here on TLA. They're taking away all the outer turrets. They have the inner bottom now. A lot of turrets have been taken off the map. Looks like they may want to try to pick up the dragon at this point, since it is a pretty free objective, but they may also just want to fight.
Oh, smite by Rush. The higher level means he secures it. He's snared, and Dardoch goes in a bit too deep. The knockup is not quite going to be enough as Team Liquid Academy are finally able to disengage with their lives. But as you mentioned, that dragon finally ripe for the taking from Cloud9.
Yeah, mid lane turret, it is still alive, but they lost both of the bot turrets. C9 has taken full vision control in the bottom side jungle, and that is going to give them a free dragon. So yeah, you may not want to put a huge amount of priority on it, but it is uncontestable at this point, so they're going to take it.
Yeah, and this is the Air Drake, Cloud Drake, on a very mobile team. You've got double teleport, Twisted Fate, Rek'Sai. These guys are going to be all over the map if they can manage to get another dragon.
Yeah, no kidding. Especially, you know, with the split push potential,
yeah.
Obviously something you love to have. Gives a little bit more of that ability to engage here as well. And Hai is actually going to go for the very aggressive option. He's going to pick himself up a full death cap. Why not when you are already 3-0-4? You're pretty far ahead, and he just wants to snowball the game.
Yeah, just keep tearing this map open. Do everything you can to prevent Team Liquid Academy from getting back into this. So we talked a little bit about how Team Liquid Academy early on wanted to have aggressive ganks. They wanted that Lee Sin to snowball the lanes a little bit. Well, we're hitting the 20-minute mark now, and that plan didn't exactly come to fruition.
No, it definitely didn't, and now it's going to be on TLA to make some plays. I mean, they're going to have Dardoch, you know, kicking in guys like Hai, punishing him for not getting the Zhonya's. You need to kick in Hai, you need to kick in Altec. Has to be one of those two, and they pretty much have to delete the guy right off the bat. There's also obviously the catch potential from a flank from Solo. We have Roots here from Stunt, so if they can get the right guy in the right position, you know, they definitely have a chance to delete him.
We just saw Dardoch demonstrating maybe a little bit rusty as he's getting back into this game. Missing the Scuttle Crab by a good 3 Teemos width. He didn't miss that one, though, when he's stealing it from an ally. He's got perfect aim.
Scuttle Crab is shifty, man. You gotta watch out. Can't trust that thing.
River Shen.
Yep.
Going left or right. So, meanwhile, Rush, undaunted, invading. He knows Dardoch is on the other side of the map. Going to clear away as much of the jungle away from Dardoch. Continue to deny him as much as possible. Almost 20 CS up.
Yeah, when you're this far ahead on a tank like Rek'Sai, it's kind of like you're just daring them to go on you. It doesn't really matter. You can burrow out of there. He is very safe. He has the rotation ability to come in from Hai, who has his ultimate and TP available. Balls also has the TP. TLA knows this, so they can't really aggress onto Rush.
With that global pressure, Cloud9 continue to put pressure on the map. Looks like they might be trying to dive once again. Solo's nice and tanky now, and Hai, in fact, is going to be taking a lot of damage. But Balls uses the subjugate. He is so huge, not quite able to drop Solo, though.
Yeah, Solo's getting pretty tanky here. They try to dive the inhibitor, not able to do it, and now the collapse coming in from TLA, and C9 may have bit off more than they can chew, but Solo!
Oh, they're able to drop Solo. Hai flashes out, but Balls is on top of Flappy. Fabby, he's trying to drop him down, but he can't quite do it. Here comes Lemonation to turn this around. Flash from Fabby. That's going to be Dardoch making it over the wall. Balls, undaunted again, continues to chase the auto attack. Just doesn't proc the concussive blows, but they're going to be able to secure it with Rush. Another kill. Flash from Stunt, but 3 members are dead. Rush is going to use his own flash. Golden Glue's there just a little too late, and Cloud9 will not be able to dive this one.
Yeah, I mean, they could go for it. I don't know if it's going to work, but it looks like Rush wants to. Rush is hanging around. Now they do finally think better of it.
Oh my goodness, they're waiting around the Baron pit right now.
Here comes TP.
Yeah, there's going to be a teleport as the rest of Cloud9 collapse. This is Baron 22 minutes in. Hai, meanwhile, solo kills Stunt on the opposite side of the map with some help from Lemonation. Not exactly a solo kill, but the rest of Cloud9 are going to be taking this Baron 23 minutes in. 12 kills to 3, a 10,000 gold lead, and Golden Glue. Oh man, he flashes. He's going to be able to get out.
Game's getting ugly, man. Yeah. I feel bad for TLA as C9 is just putting on a clinic, and yeah, poor Stunt was trying to wander over and check if they were doing the Baron. Gets tagged from that Q from Lemonation, and then Hai just kind of throws over a lazy Q, picks him up, and now Solo. You are far out there, my friend.
He is far indeed. Once again, Cloud9 collapse. 3 members come to Hai's assistance. Solo is going to be dropped in just a matter of time. If a tree falls in a forest and Cloud9 around to hear it, who gets the kill?
Well, it's Rush.
Yeah.
Shows us on the scoreboard. And Altec going to pick up a solo kill in the mid lane on Golden Glue. Insult to injury as Golden Glue had to blow that flash earlier. And Rush still hanging around the mid lane as C9 takes what they want. They are pushing in, and this has got to feel bad.
Yeah, Team Liquid Academy were one of the 2 teams to really, we expected to put a challenge to Cloud9 to really give them a run for their money, but so far it looks like Cloud9 are just completely dominating this game. They don't even care that the turret is there. They've got a couple of minions. They're buying time for balls in the bottom lane on the inhibitor turret, who's still got the Baron buff.
Yeah,
oh boy.
That cannon minion is actually reducing the armor there. So Dardoch trying to catch up to balls.
Again, the insect gets read like a book. Dardoch's tricks are not going to work on Cloud9. It's 2 versus 4. The tanks versus all of Team Liquid. They buy enough time for Lemonation and Altec to join in, and this is going to be a very chaotic fight. Balls is trying to get some damage, but it's tank versus tank. Lemon might have overextended. Altec is still going to be able to kill solo as Dardoch runs for his life. Fabi shows up too late, and it's 5 versus 4.
It's going to be bot lane inhibitor here, if not the inhibitor. They're going to be able to walk in, take this down very easily. And I think C9's just going to go for it as Golden Glue's in trouble.
Oh, Golden Glue takes a lot of damage. The Expunge can't quite find range as Rush is going to zone away the rest of Team Liquid Academy. The inhibitor falls, but Cloud9 decide there's a little bit more time on the clock for Team Liquid Academy.
Yeah, and they're just outpacing them so hard as far as the items go. I mean, the gold lead on High right now is disgusting. High is actually up 4,000 gold over Golden Glue. That ain't right, High. Yeah. Give the man a break.
That is not insult to injury. He takes his blue buff on top of this. You know, that wasn't the old way to get back into the game. Hey, control our side of the map, you know, we'll defend while the super minions come in, we'll clear our jungle, and eventually we'll sort of expand back out onto the map. But yeah.
It's the old adage, don't worry, we're down 15K, we're scaling, we got late game, it's gonna be fine.
Oh,
but I don't think this one's gonna be fine.
No, this is a car crash waiting to happen as Cloud9, they are driving fast and furious right now. Team Liquid Academy not even allowing him to take his own ward up in the mid lane. This is now going to be the Ocean Drake secured for Cloud9, helping with the siege even more.
Yeah, why not? Another free objective there for C9. Nothing that TL can really do to, you know, leave the base. And their hope at this point really is the turtle. And as much as I joked about it, it really is hope for the late game. Try to do something later on, but it doesn't really get better for them. And since the base has already been cracked, it's going to be so hard because all C9 has to do, they just hang around, they wait for bot lane to push in, and once they go to answer that, these massive tanks, you know, Rush and Balls do not care about the inhibitor turrets. They're going to dive you as soon as someone goes down there.
Yeah, that's another tier 2 turret, the last in the game for Team Liquid Academy. 7 turrets to 2 right now. And this is going to be a valiant defense if they can manage to hold Cloud9, as right now, Cloud9, they have the horde, they have the army, they are looking to break Team Liquid's base apart.
Yeah, and High is kind of hovering around the side here. They're all going to move up, and as I said, you know, Solo has to answer this. It's tough for him. High's already on the mid lane hip. Altec going to get kicked in, though. Could be in trouble.
Yeah, there was the insect play, but Altec is able to flash back out. Golden Glue gets some good damage as Dardoch trades his life over. It's flash for flash. And while they got the target they were looking for, they weren't able to shut him down as High goes so deep to look for the kills. He's almost certainly going to go down. He is shut down by Fabi, and Rush is going to be locked down. The rest of the team is on the inhibitor turret. Rush is dead, and suddenly it's 2 dead for 1 in favor of Team Liquid Academy.
Yeah, some pretty hypey plays there from C9. Gonna go ultra aggressive. High goes super deep. He doesn't even have the Zonias, so definitely a very aggressive play there, especially on Golden Glue, who had the cleanse. Rush tries to follow up, they go down, but do they really care? They already got the mid lane inhib turret, the top lane inhib turret. You know, when that fight was going on, sure, Altec almost went down, but High was taking a turret for free. And then while High and Rush are distracting here, the rest of the boys come in, but here is the play once again, and this is what Dardoch needed to do. He gets the Q in onto Balls. He ward hop flash kicks in Altec. Beautiful stuff from Dardoch. But this is an Altec with the summoners, with the protection from Braum, so he's able to get out alive just barely, pop the ultimate, and does huge damage. And here is that huge dive, but as you can see at the top of your screen, Altec and the Balls still working away on that turret, and it's gonna fall.
Yeah, I feel like we already talked about this earlier with High. Going for the greedy play with the Rabadon, still doesn't have a Zonia's Hourglass. In fact, he's third item, Luden's Echo, for even more burst.
And he's going to grab a Void Staff, and I mean, it's fine. The thing is, it's like, this isn't the most standard of builds, but it's not the most standard of games. He's ridiculously ahead, and when you're this strong on a TF, if you get one gold card with your stack cards passive and a Q onto Fabi, he's actually dead from full health. The same thing happens to stun. So pretty much anyone who is not a tank on their team, which is pretty much everyone,
except for solo, yeah.
by high. So this guy is a monster this game and super aggressive build, but you can do it, and it's helping to snowball the game. They have to be so scared. It's not just initiation, it is elimination from high.
Yeah, very, very oppressive play from Cloud9, demonstrating that they still have it. And I realize now, pretty much for the duration of this game, I've been calling them Cloud9 because they have 3 of the returning members. This is Cloud9 Challenger. This is a very similar team to the original match, but in the Challenger scene.
Yep, same organization though, so I'm gonna let it slide.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna pass on this one. Well, I mean, because I also call them Cloud9.
Yeah. We'll just slide that under the rug and see if Team Liquid Academy are able to hold on to this. Because yes, they were finally able to make a favorable fight happen because Cloud9 got over-aggressive. They still ended up trading an inhib turret, and now Cloud9 are looking to take the Baron. Dardoch, oh my gosh!
Yeah, look at that Q. Even on Dardoch, who, you know, he has some HP from the cleaver. You know, he's got a little bit of MR, but he's just getting so chunked out from high. They can't even try to contest this. So a free Baron for C9. This is a completely open base. The inhibs are back, but C9 just has to group in. They got to push, and they can probably make it a clean sweep, take all 3 inhibitors, regroup, wait for the supers to push in. They obviously can go more aggressive than that if they want, but it can be pretty textbook here for them. I don't think there's a lot TLA can do.
Oh, Rush getting a little aggressive. He's locked down over the wall. Lemonation comes to the rescue. There's a knock-up. Lots of AoE is dropped, but it's on the tanks. High manages to tread through Solo's health. There's a subjugate on top of it. High's looking for yet another kill. He's got the gate. Where's he going to end up dropping? Oh, Stunt is barely able to get out. Looks like he's just content to take the inhibitor. 1 has fallen, make that 2, and looks like the 3rd is going to drop as well. This is a very scary textbook play from Cloud9. 3 inhibs are gone, 17 kills to 5, and now they're pushing on to the Nexus turrets. Fabi is going to die as Altec is dominating, and Cloud9 getting a few kills to round out their resume as they look to shred through Team Liquid Academy's final defenses.
Yeah, nothing TLA can do at all here. Honestly, an amazing game here from Cloud9 Challenger. They make it look easy. Fantastic stuff here across the board. Everyone pitched in. You know, all lanes were doing very, very well. Big plays here from Rush and High, I think, really, that got the side lanes going. And once Rush and High got that much ahead, you know, Dardoch and Golden Glue were getting pushed around so hard. They did not have access to their jungle, and it went downhill very, very quickly.
Yeah, and it's sort of surprising because what we expected was that Rush would be a little bit more aggressive considering his play in the promotion tournament where he got that Kindred twice, I believe. In the other game, he did get Lee Sin, so he was going aggressive. He was invading time and time again, but this time around, taking it safe, playing the tank for his team, and just enabling his solo lanes to go crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, yes, he wasn't playing the guy who's making the flashy plays, you know, doing all the damage, but he's putting on the pressure. He's aggressing very, very heavily into the other team's jungle. He is playing that Rex side, but, you know, he's getting in their face. He's always invading onto Dardoch. You know, Dardoch picked up first blood, but Rush was power farming. He got himself a lead, and then he was able to really bully out Dardoch.
Yeah, Dardoch trying to shot call as best he can throughout the course of that match. He did a pretty good job during the early game, getting that first blood kill and trying to snowball that lane a little bit more, but just wasn't quite able to convert over the course of the game. And it was such a game of inches. Time and again, he was just right there.
Yeah, always in the right place at the right time was Rush, but gotta say, High was absolutely crushing it.
Yeah.
Really, really impressed with him this game, and you know, not too surprising. This is a guy who has competed on the world's level. You know, he's an amazing shot caller, and it was always kind of the Cloud9 signature when playing with High that they had fantastic map movement. They're able to move around, kind of like out-rotate their opponents, and I think for a less experienced challenger team, they're essentially going up against an LCS squad of veterans, which is very, very tough. It's a big ask.
Mm-hmm. And to talk about that a little bit more, you know, that shot calling aspect of the team, Tom said it earlier, that's usually one of the biggest differences between a challenger squad and an LCS squad.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, it's like shot calling is great, and it is definitely an advantage to have high there. But you know, at the same time, TLA does have Dardoch. He's, you know, an LCS shot caller as well. But everyone needs to be on the same page, and you know, you can't dictate everyone's actions on the map. People just have to know what to do in the different circumstances, and you could tell that TLA did not really know their limits, where they could be in the map at which times, you know, how far they can go, you know, which areas of the map they can kind of push their advantage. They really did struggle across the board, and you know, to me, this is much more than just shot calling. It was they got beat pretty bad this game.
Yeah, well, we'll see if they can recover. TLA will try to bounce back when we return with game number 2 against Cloud9 Challenger. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. The snare, the pillar goes down too soon. Balls is almost certainly doomed. First blood, Dardoch. Dardoch style steals the red buff, but he's going to die. Knockup flies high. Oh, and it's going to be executed by elimination. Balls undaunted again, continues to chase the auto attack. Oh, it just doesn't proc the concussive blows.